e-commerce website. Basically, this will be.
Okay.
So yeah, so my questions will be based on the particular JD.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. We'll start with the .NET Core.
Okay.
Can you explain me the .NET Core architecture?
It says a modularized architecture. We can the request will come to the. I can say that you are expecting lifecycle or what is the architecture? High level. How was that defined?
High level.
Okay, it's a modularized based architecture and yes, Prasanna.
No, continue.
Yeah, there is some network issue, I think, from your end. There is some breaking in the voice in middle. Okay, I am continuing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it's an modularized based architecture, and we can everything. It could be that we have to define our own handlers and our own modules to working with the .NET Core. It's a modularized based to we can run our application in terms of Kestrel web server, and by using this Kestrel we can host our application with the different voices as well as different versions of the application line by line. Is by default it can support dependency injection instead of all the things. We can configure it and we can use further.
Okay. If startup class is mandatory?
It's not a mandatory in the sense it's a mandatory for an application. It should not be the same name. If you want our own startup class also, we can define, and we have to configure. We have to extend the startup class. We have to.
So what are the method it contains?
Yeah, it's a configure method and a configure services method. These are the two methods we have to use it for our application.
So what is the use of configure service method?
It's basically we want to place our types into the dependency injection container. We want to register it. The dependency container will take care of the lifetime and all the dependency injection objects.
Then what you will be performing in configure method?
Yeah, configure method which is used to configuring the middlewares. In terms of we do have the multiple middlewares in the request pipeline, and if you want to configure our own middleware also in the request pipeline to handle our request in terms of HTTP module or a handler in a legacy application.
Okay. What is the use of Kestrel?
It's a cross-platform web server which will host our application .NET Core application default uses Kestrel web server to make this use of Kestrel web server to host our application in multiple OSs.
Okay. So, if you want to configure the authentication and authorization, how do you achieve it?
We do have to configure that middlewares, use authentication and use authorization. We have to authorization. We do have if we need, we do have to provide the policies, role based and the claims, and if you want to have a deeper authorization, we can use the roles and claims.
Can you explain me how do you configure the JWT authentication?
We have that JWT extension method app that use we have to the app that add authentication. We have to configure AWS authentication extension method. We can configure that secret key, audience, and claims. Based on this, I can say this is an handler. We can write our own all the JWT authentication logic into the separate handler. We can use that handler in a middleware.
Okay. And Like if you want to write any like service layer service APIs, so what all the pros and cons you will be thinking? How do you maintain your solution architecture?
Can you explain the question more? Like
I want some web services.
Okay.
So how do you define your web services?
Yeah, it's follow the some REST principle, representational stress transfer. It has to follow these principles. Then it depends on the what are the principles are followed. Then we can convert that application to the REST. Like it should be written in terms of only the JSON or XML. It should not written on like any of the page. It's like a state. It is all the states could be maintained by the equal in terms of HTTP GET, POST, PUT, and delete. We can easily identify the resources by the resources kind of thing. We have to follow these REST principles to convert any of the application into the RESTful APIs or web services.
Okay. And how do you
Deepika,
analyze your application memory utilization?
Memory utilization in terms of cleaning of unused objects. We do have the garbage collector. It will internally it will use that two levels of the garbage collection. If you want to make that gc.collect method also to do the collection of unused memory objects, this is one way. And another way is we can also use the using method. Using method will also within a scope if the operation is completed, it will automatically take the garbage collection. And we do have another mechanisms to check disposable object by using the dispose method.
Okay. Now, how you will be identifying the memory leakage in an application?
Memory leakage in an application, while we are using the collections, memory leakage. Okay. No idea. In terms of stack and queues, we used it, but yeah, I need some time to recollect those things. Yeah.
No, basically, how do you identify first? In which layer the memory leakage is happening? Overall application, like some could be on the UI, some could be on the database. So how do you basically analyze your application to identify is there memory leakage or not?
Okay, there is a one scenario in my application. We do have that written the 2 GB of the data from database to C# layer. In this, we do have that logging mechanism. What is the time? What is the time taking, and do we have any exceptions is happening based on the loggings, based on the timings? How much data which is getting traveling? Whether it is if we have that any of the memory leakage happening, like any overflow exception is happening, or like out of we do have the some exception will occurs based on the leakage of the memory. Based on that thing we can configure it, but yeah, I need to recollect. We do have in a previous company, but current organization, yeah, no.
Okay. And if I have a web services exposed to a client which has already used by 4 clients, and I want to change the new method name to the 5th client without affecting the old clients. So how do you achieve?
The same method or new method for the 5th
same method? I have to give it a new name.
We have to define the other route attributes for the particular method. We have to define the name version.
If I want to add the new parameter to the new client, and that parameter should not affect the existing client which they are already consuming it,
we need to define that as a optional parameter.
So exactly at which what position? If I
already in the last parameter in a particular in the particular method, we have to define the optional parameters in the last
Okay.
order.
And how do you establishing a connection to a database in your application?
We do have that dapper, we do have the DDO connection, we do have entity framework, which is used to
So
connect.
in entity framework core, like what is the approach you guys have followed?
We are following with entity framework core.
Yes. Otherwise, the normal entity framework also fine. So what are the types of approaches available?
Approaches, we do have that like we need to configure that connection string in app settings.json or production or development.json.
No, you're not getting my point. Basically, entity framework has two types.
Code first and
right.
Database first,
So,
right?
Yes. So which one you guys were following?
We are following database first.
Okay. So in DB first approach, how do you create your DB search? Can you explain?
Based on the models, we do have to create the configuration for that models, and by using the Fluent APIs to configure our table names and column names from the models to database. It will automatically creating. We do have that migrations enabled.
Okay. So how you are querying the database using Lambda or any other? We do have the repositories to get the data, and the repositories we are implementing entity framework to getting the data. We do have that dapper also. Right.
Yeah.
So are you using LinkU then?
A LinkU as well as like dapper also. If you want to need to return the multiple result sets instead of returning one result set at a time, we are using.
So if you're using entity framework, how you are joining the two tables? What is the property we are using?
Dot join and dot join extension method.
No, entity framework has dot include, right?
Dot include for parent and child relation. If you want to get the data, yes, include in the entity framework. Correct.
So in LinkU, how do you check the data has returned the rows or not?
Any method by using the any list.any, it will have the data or not.
Or if you want to return the first object.
First or default. First will if null is happening, the first will throw exception. First or default will not throw exception. It will return default value.
What is the difference between MVC and the ASP.NET Core?
Yeah, the basic difference is ASP.NET MVC is a monolith application supported. MVC.NET MVC Core is modularized based, and MVC by default we have to configure that and inject MVC.NET MVC Core will by default it will come. The MVC application default it will host in IaaS, but .NET Core we be using of Kestrel, we can host in multiple hosting mechanism like self-hosting or in-process or out-process hosting. Yeah, in Core we do have that like a library. It's a freeware we can use in any of the studios, but in .NET, we do have to implement in the Visual Studio Professional or Enterprise or the versions only. It is not. It is very difficult to run that application in a VS Code.
Okay. Can you explain me the OOPS concept?
Yeah, class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, exception handling. These are all the OOPS principles.
Okay, then how do you handle the error logging?
By using a logger object in .NET MVC, .NET Core default supporting a logging mechanism, log.info, log.debug, log.warn, and information.
Fine. Can you explain me the collections?
Yeah. Collection is a group of similar group of objects into the single area. We do have a list, array list, stack, queue, enumerable. These are all the collection concept. Whenever it will needed based on the we do have that generic collections are also there, like hash table and the normal collection dictionary, like that. Based on the requirement, we will use those collections in our application.
What is the difference between dictionary and asset?
Yeah, dictionary is a collection. Asset is in terms of generic collection. In terms of dictionary, it will allow only the like whatever the given type, like it is allowed only the string or integers. But hash table, it will support multiple objects, multiple types. In terms of here, we need in terms of deserialization or from the boxing and unboxing are needed in the hash state, and as a dictionary it's not needed. There is some like if you want to get the data from a dictionary, the key was not available, it will throw exception. Asset will not throw an exception.
Okay. Can you open a notepad? Sorry, before that, can you explain the Angular lifecycle?
Yeah, the Angular lifecycle, the request will initially it will create each one is a component. We have the onInit method. From onInit method, which will is kind of initialization of a few of the variables kind of thing, and the dependency. If you need assign some default values from onInit to a view on view changes onInit on. We do have the different view changes are there after view init, after view bind and destroy kind of. These are the predefined method. These methods will be used to perform some operation based on the need basis.
What is AOT compilation?
Sorry?
What is AOT compilation in Angular?
No idea.
How are Angular expressions different from JavaScript exceptions?
Exceptions in terms of we can by using the there's an observable it will in terms of written in terms of resolve and reject. Based on that one, we do have handled the exception in Angular.
Not the exceptions, expressions.
Expression in terms of
how it is different from JavaScript exceptions?
Can you explain more about that? Like expression in terms of everything in terms of dynamic variable expression. Okay. Expression in terms of assigning the values to
how
that
do
variable.
You integrate in the HTML basically?
Okay. Yeah, basically we do have like ng bind, ng model, and using that the curly braces to assign the data or communicating between the HTML to component.
What is two-way binding?
Two-way binding, whenever there is some changes on the model in the component, it is automatically reflect those values to the HTML.
What are directives in Angular?
Directives ng for ng if, ng switch. These are the directives. If you want, we can also define our own directive.
Types of directives?
ng for ng if, ng switch.
Which are all structured directives?
Yes.
What is interpolation in Angular?
Interpolation, no idea. In terms of pipes, you are talking about?
No.
Okay.
It's used to display the component.
Yeah, interpolation.
And can you explain? Can you explain the? Well, let me jump to the database. Can you explain me the significance of SP log?
Which is used to using in the transaction. If the table is locked, it will not return it is not allowing locking is locking the particular table. Don't want to perform any of the other threads or other users, but to getting the data or updating the data from a particular table.
I was asking about SP log.
SP log,
not the generic log. Yeah.
SP log. We haven't used that SP log.
Fine. What is the difference between union and union all?
The basic difference is union. It will union the two result sets, and it will display them in a sorted order. But union all, it will take that duplicates also from the two result sets, and it will display in the data in a sorted order.
Difference between varchar and nvarchar?
Nvarchar will support multi-language. Varchar will support default English.
Types of index?
Cluster, non-cluster indexes we are using, like unique index also will be used based on the situation.
What is cluster index?
Primary key, it will create automatically cluster index. It will use that binary search whenever we are performing this.
How many cluster index we can have?
Only one for a table.
Okay. Can you open your notepad and can you write a program for me?
Okay.
To reverse the string.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Do you want me?
One second. Let me get the input and output format. Also, I'm pinging you.
Okay.
Chart. Yeah. The special character should not change its position. Only the characters should reverse it. Just open the notepad or Visual Studio, whichever you're comfortable. I'm okay with the syntax. Just I'm looking for the logic. Share the screen.
Okay. Let me share. Okay, 1 minute it is. Okay, sharing entire screen. Okay. The input.
Yeah, loading.
Okay. This is the input, this is the output. String ABC, comma, D. Okay. Click. Okay, if it is a simple string reverse, we can do, but it should not. Reverse.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Can we use Google?
Hey, nobody.
Okay.
Then I have no need to ask me the questions.
Okay.
I want to see how you think.
Okay.
How do you approach towards the problem?
Okay. Return.
Have you worked on any messaging queue?
Yeah, RabbitMQ.
Okay.
Okay.
And apart from SQL Server, which other database have you worked?
The MongoDB and Azure no database. Azure table
Okay,
storage.
you have been exposure to cloud also then?
Yes.
And also you told you are working on microservices also, right?
Yes. We need to here. We need to check whether a character is a special character or not. Let me. Put carried after to string after. We will have contains two characters start with this. Here we need to check whether it is a special character or not. Do we have any methods available to here we do have to implement a not contains of special character. I'm thinking what is the characters. There might be a lot of other things will be there, right?
Right.
Comma. How to check she is having a special character. Let's say for time being, let's say it's a comma. If it is a comma, what we have to do something. Say special characters we have to do something, otherwise we have to reverse it. Both the cases we have to. Strings.
Okay, Ram, okay. At least can you try to explain what you are trying to achieve?
Yeah. Here.
Or how you want to go towards this problem?
Yeah. The thing is, yeah. Here, the method is taking as an input, and I am trying to convert into the array, character array. I am looping from from ending to start. Length greater than or equal to 0. I am doing length minus minus. I have taken that one reverse string to do the checks of do we have any in the character is a special character or not. If it is not a special character, I am doing I am trying to append in terms of reverse equal to reverse plus equal to whatever the characters are there. I am adding into the characters into the reverse, and I am returning. But here only the thing is how to check whether the character is special character or not. I do have used it, but
in that case, how do you that comma fit there? Like when you're reversing, the comma position should not change where you're doing that check. It should be always in the third position, comma.
Yeah, the comma is, for example,
you're checking a special character. You're checking a special character also in a reverse position. But the requirement was the special character not change its position.
Special characters not change the position.
As per your code, the dollar will come first only.
Yes, dollar will come first. Correct. Dollar and hyphen will come first, and the order is also should be third. Okay. See.
You have to listen carefully the problem statement.
Correct.
Okay, already we have passed 6 minutes. Do you have any questions to me?
Can I know what is the exactly the skills you are looking for?
I already explained, right? First itself, the account is looking for a .NET Core, MVC, Angular, and the microservices. Like we are not looking at the full stack. If you are good in any specific, it's fine. If you're full stack, also is fine. We have multiple positions.
Okay.
So there are multiple openings which can be filled based on your skill set.
Okay, no problem.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm done myself.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank
Happy
you.
weekend.
Bye bye. Happy weekend.